When will gold catch a bid, Mr. Merk?
Well, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Gold ultimately doesn't pay any interest, and as long as people think that you're going to get your money's worth when you hold currency, when you hold the dollar, then maybe gold is out of favor. My view is that the Fed will be behind the curve, and medium term that's going to be
What
fine
is the
for gold.
similarities now in the way we're riding gold down versus the way we rode gold down in the 1980s? It went up, up, up. I remember the cocktail talk my parents had with people about it, and then it just went down.
Well, a key difference in the 1980s, we had Volcker who really put up real interest rates. Real interest rates were in the stratosphere. Real interest rates are at zero right now.
So what's that mean?
Well, that right now we have no interest in gold, but it's very, very different.
There's less of an opportunity cost to holding gold, right?
Well, it's less of an opportunity cost, and then more importantly, the question is, where's the trajectory? Are we going to have Volcker come in, or are we going to have the new normal where even the peak might not get us to significant
Did
positive
Donald Trump
rates?
say if he was president, Axel Merk would be head of the Fed? Did I hear that?
He did.
So when are
He
you
did, and Sarah Palin would be Treasury Secretary.
And what will the catalyst be?
Well, the catalyst will be for the market to realize that the Fed does what it says it does, that it will be behind the curve.
So it raises 25 basis points.
Well, so what?
Then we'll go,
well, no, the question is what real rates will do. The Fed will only raise rates if inflation picks up, if the economy picks up, which means they'll be chucking along.
You sound like Mark Carney. Okay, we want to get real rates up. Mark Carney wants to get real rates up. The fact is, with consensus, he blinked this morning. And the doves took the day. You see it in euro, sterling, and others. What is the signal that we got from the Bank of England this morning?
Well, the Bank of England works very differently from the Fed. They actually have debates. It's not just the chair that counts, that they actually have everybody giving up their own opinion. And then Carney is, like Greenspan, a little bit as confusing as he can possibly be to kind of just muddle through. Ultimately, I think the Bank of England will be on track with the Fed probably in raising rates. But then again, I don't think they're married to the Fed in some ways. They'll just chunk along and have their own set of challenges.
The eternal question of whether gold is a commodity or a currency, the slide in gold that we've been watching, does that change that discussion at all?
Well, not really. I mean, clearly what happened in gold for 12 years in a row, it went up, and then speculators hopped on, and so it kind of became more of a financial commodity, and then, of course, we need to have the kind of the grinding to get back to a more sustainable level. But ultimately, of course, everybody always likes gold with hindsight, and nobody likes it looking forward, because how can possibly something that's just a brick be of value?
Axel, you're constantly dollar bearish. Defend that call right now.
Look, constantly dollar bearish. There's an extreme dollar bullishness, and I tend to lean against the consensus. And so I happen to think that the Fed will not be as tight as the market expects. I happen to think Europe will not be as dovish as the market expects. Today we see the euro jump against the sterling. Sometimes Europe is a mess, but sometimes there's value and it goes up.
The movie out Memorial Day next year, The Myth of the Rational Market, the screenwriter Justin Fox with us this morning. Is gold a rational investment? Your book was fabulous about the nuances of rationality within finance. Is gold part of that rational space, Justin?
It is sometimes, yeah. And then sometimes it's purely an expression of people's fears and hopes and whatever else.
But
like anything,
said.
basically.
Is that fear there now, or is this a new paradigm?
I don't think there
gold?
needs to be a fear discussion. I mean, we can have that, but is cash a rational investment? It belongs somewhere along the risk spectrum. The thing is, almost all assets are inflated right now. Gold, nobody likes. And gold provides a low correlation. So from a diversification point of view, it's worth taking a look at. Now, if you talk about fear, interestingly, the dollar has been rising in a risk-on environment. So if we were to have fear in the markets, well, the dollar may not benefit. That means that gold has a chance. Currencies, the euro might have a chance because the euro has been used as a funding currency. The things are turned upside down in the current environment. And just because...
Do you agree with that, Mr. Fox?
Well, I guess the one thing I keep thinking about is what is really dramatic about the environment of the past few years is all of these disinflationary forces pressing along. And the fact that inflation is still so low, I mean, that's what's causing these central banks to act the way they are, is this sort of fear that something weird's going on. We're afraid if we're too aggressive, things are going to spiral into deflation.